question. Do you want to have a simple party in my basement? Is my love your drunk? Your mom's calling you. Gonna answer? I think you would. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games.
And
board gamey things.
Exactly. We're back again today with another board game snapshot.
Yeah!
You scared little baby.
Yeah!
We are here to do mini reviews or previews, depending on the game. That's what we're here today to do. We got 5 games to talk about. So without further ado, I say we start. And we're actually going to start with one of those little preview fellas. This portion of the video is sponsored by Shadow Capers, and we are talking about Til Death Do Us Part.
Did you think about putting the game in the middle when you put the mic there?
Can you see it now? Good. Let's talk about Til Death Do Us Part. The object of the game is to marry as many oldsters as possible, delivering them one by one from the courthouse to the graveyard before reading their will, tallying up the value of their estate, and depositing the money in the bank. Each player has 3 pawns, one to remain with them as a reminder to the other players who they are, and one that tracks along the outside of the board, indicating the current money in the player's bank account, and another representing the oldster's health and travels along the roadway from the courthouse to the graveyard before cashing in on that spouse and setting out to snag another. Each player will receive a random oldster off the top of the deck and is dealt 8 cards. Cards that generally affect your oldster's wealth or settling their estate after they pass remain in front of you on the table, while cards that will be played on others or opponents play on you generally go directly to the discard pile at the center of the board. The oldest player seated at the table is going to go first. Now, let the lying begin. Once married, by playing a marriage certificate or wild card, a player may start putting their oldster into harm's way. Players do harm to their own oldsters by playing instant damage cards like mixing up their medication, poisoning their soup, or simply celebrating another birthday. The most damage is done by pairing plan cards with inaction cards to get a double roll of the damage dice, all propelling your oldster toward the graveyard. In the course of play, players can do a number of strategic actions like increase their oldster's wealth, inflict monetary losses on opponents, force opponents into prenups or divorces, significantly impacting the payout from their gold digging efforts. You could block opponents from harming their oldster, instantly heal an opponent's holdster, engage in blackmail, hire a hitman, and more. Players can work cooperatively to slow or stop a fast-tracking opponent, but cannot pull any of their cards or discuss which cards they have. The game is over when a player bumps off the oldster that puts them over the $150 million threshold, and they are crowned the most disgraceful gold digger at the table. So that is Til Death Do Us Part, which is now fulfilling. So if you're interested in getting your hands on a copy of this, I'm going to put links to the website, all that stuff below, so you can check it out. But remember, friends, this is a spicy one. Okay, it's not like crazy spicy, but look at these lovers. From friends to lovers.
She's got some cleave.
Exactly. So not for the kids, okay, peeps. Perfect. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Next up is me.
Yeah.
And first up, we have a little trick taker called Torchlit.
Correct.
Torchlit, I don't even know who does it.
I don't know. It's right there.
Little Dog Games.
Aw, cute.
This is a trick-taking game with a little bit of a dungeon crawl theme.
Yeah.
It's kind of involved in the mechanisms too, I guess. In Torchlit, you are effectively trying to win tricks.
It's a trick-taking game.
However, where things get a little spicy in this game.
Oh, so this is one for adults only too? Spicy?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you can play this. Does it have a kid on it? No. 10 plus.
10 and up.
10 plus. You will have a dungeon in front of you.
Yep.
The dungeon spaces are numbered 1 to 7. And when you win a trick, you're going to progress 1 space forward in the dungeon.
You are.
Why does that matter?
I don't know.
The person that plays the lowest card in the trick
Mm-hmm.
is going to take one card of each suit
Yep.
and place it underneath one of the sections in the dungeon.
Yeah.
So why does this all matter? Because at the end of the round, you're going to score points for how many cards are under the section of dungeon that you are in.
That you predicted.
No, that you are in.
Oh.
There is a torch card.
Torch.
Jamie was getting a little ahead of herself
My
there.
bad. My bad.
There is a torch card. So at the beginning of the round, you're going to take one of the cards out of your hand and you're going to play face down. That's your torch card. Okay? When you only have 2 cards left in hand, so when you're playing out your final trick,
Mm-hmm.
or sorry, when you only have 1 card left in hand and you're playing out your final trick, you are allowed to swap out your torch card for the card in your hand if you so choose.
Right.
Why does the torch card matter? Because the number on the torch card is your guess on where you're going to end up in the dungeon.
Correct.
From 1 to 7. And if you get it correct, you're going to score bonus points.
Yeah.
So ultimately, how it's going to score is for whatever section you are in the dungeon, each card is going to score 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a dragon card, dragon suited card, it's going to score extra points. And if you get your torch card correct, you're going to score another extra 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to play that, I think, via player count. However many players there are, I think there's that many rounds. And then whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
And you have to put that torch card out. And if you put it into where somebody else is and it's theirs, they get those points. And you don't get those points.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. Now you have me second guessing myself.
Correct.
When you got it, Jeff?
Jamie is correct.
Obviously.
If you drop, it's a drop torch.
Yeah.
So if you get it wrong, you have to add it to the dungeon of the number of the card. But if you get it right, you get to put it in front of you and it scores bonus points.
Right.
And then it's ultimately whoever has the most points wins. What's also unique is you can kind of like force people along in the dungeon. And it loops back around. So you may be like, well, what if you get to the end of the dungeon? Well, you come back to the front. And then you're going to go do it again.
Yeah.
So someone could be like loading up the third space on the dungeon, being like, oh, I'm here. And then you can like push them off by forcing them to win tricks. So they have to move. It's really, really, really good. Yeah. I don't think super readily available.
It's like a Japanese publisher. I'm hoping, like, what seems to be happening with a lot of these types of trick-taking games, people are picking them up. Yeah,
our boy Charlie got us this bad boy. And he was the one that introduced it to myself and Sam from Lord of the Board. And then he just visited and brought us a copy, and we got to play it again and showed Jamie. I really like it. Like, one of my favorite trick takers. It's very, very good.
Yeah, it's super unique. I'm literally always shocked.
Yep.
When we play a trick taker and it's doing something different. It's like, how?
Is trick taking the most, like,
versatile?
Versatile or, like, diverse mechanism?
It might be. And
games?
because, like, it's technically so simple. Trick-taking is simple, and yet every trick-taking game... We're going to talk about another trick-taking game in this video, too.
They just weave a little bit extra into all of them,
They weave and they wash.
And they don't feel different. They all feel different.
They do.
There's some that'll obviously feel similar, but for the most part, like, they're pretty diverse.
Yeah. So speaking of trick-takers, maybe now is a good time to talk about Trickarus? Our copy's at the studio. I'll plop an image on the screen. It's right here. Plop. Okay, is it Trickarus?
Don't know. You're telling the story.
The point is, Trickarus was sent to us for review from the publisher, so shout out to them. Now, this is another trick-taking game, and this game has a really unique theme. It's almost like, they kind of look like both circus performers or like sky people. There's balloons and there's clouds.
Yeah.
What is the theme? Nighttime, daytime, I guess.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Nighttime, daytime.
Sure.
So essentially in this game...
I don't know if that's a theme. But...
I don't know if that's a theme either. But essentially in this game, you are going to have a hand of cards. It's a trick-taking game, of course. But what you are doing is you're almost like ladder climbing. Like you're climbing up this track. And you want to basically get close to the sun.
No. The theme is Icarus.
Oh, yeah.
Dummy.
Trickarus.
It's Trickarus. Because it's based off of Icarus.
Getting too close
the story
to the
of
sun.
Icarus. It all clicked there I was like, what are we talking about?
Duh.
Light and day balloons and stuff. There's no balloons.
Well, that's what they are on the cards. There are balloons.
You're
Anyways,
Icarus and you want to get close to the sun, but
not
too close.
Not too close. So what happens is, as you are winning...
You butchered that.
Yeah, sorry. As you're winning tricks, you're moving up this track. And of course, just like in the last game, you can kind of like force people to win so they get closer and closer to the sun. And if you hit it, then you have to go all the way back down to the bottom.
Oh, no, you only go back to where the lowest player is.
That's right.
So
one below the lowest player.
Just to be clear, because people might be like, well, as soon as you get to the top, you can't win.
No, you can
still win.
Yeah. There's also another function where the cards are not double-sided, but like dual purpose. So they do a flippy-do. Yeah. So one side is daytime and one side is nighttime. Mm-hmm. Right? So there is a specific card that will play out, I believe it's the 7, that whenever that is it's the 5, whenever the 5, why am I doing this? Whenever the 5 is played, you have to switch your cards from daytime to nighttime. Yeah. And then same thing if it gets played again.
And that's mid-trick.
Yeah, mid-trick. Because you do have to follow suit. Now there's also there's going to be some trump cards depending on if you're on the sun side or the moon side. And so it's just another clever trick-taking game where it's almost like a mixed with push your luck a little bit, because you're like winning and then you could force people and then you could force people to switch their cards, and then suddenly their cards, maybe they want to lose, but their cards got good because they flipped to the nighttime side. And so it really, really interesting.
It's a little bit hairy when you're 2 or 3 spaces away from the sun.
Yeah.
Because people are just trying to force feed you to win tricks, so you burn.
It's really,
you burn
really,
in that
really...
gassy ball of fire.
Yeah, the sun. Yeah. Because of Icarus. It's really beautiful. Like the art is very whimsical and almost pastel-y and really fun. And we really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
so Charlie actually brought his copy with him. Not weirdly enough, but funnily enough, because we do own this game. And so we actually played his copy. But he had played it before. He taught it to us when he came to visit, and it was great. I loved it. I think now that I understand trick-taking better than I once did back in the day. Remember when I didn't even know what it was?
Yeah, back in the Fox in the Forest days.
Exactly. Now I know. I'm just loving trying all the different trick-taking games. So I think I'm almost positive this one is definitely more available than Torchlit. Anyways, the point is it's really good, and if you're interested, I will put the link to it in the description below. Do you like it?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I think I inherently like most trick takers.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's only a handful I've played that I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I know one you don't like.
What?
Rebel Princess.
Yeah.
I like Rebel Princess.
We still haven't played Trick Takers. We need to play that in Seattle. You're going to love it. Next up for me is possibly one of the games of 2025.
New hotness.
It's going to blow up. I don't think a lot of people know it exists yet, but it's going to blow up.
It's on BGA.
It's on BGA now.
And it was sent to us for review.
This is Toy Battle from Repos Production.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. I've played this game more than any other game.
This is the new Captain Flip, basically.
So in Toy Battle, it is a 1v1 game, so it is a 2-player only. You are effectively trying to place one of your toys on the opposing player's headquarters. So each player is actually going to have the same toy types that they're going to be playing out onto this map. And the map is kind of a lane map. Yeah, perfect. With paths to each other's headquarters. Mm-hmm. And again, each player has the same access to the same toys, just different colors per player color. But what happens at the beginning of the game is you're actually randomly going to remove 4 of your toys from the game. Mm-hmm. So you start with the same toys, but you might have a little bit of difference after you remove the 4. Yeah. And ultimately, you're just going to be taking alternating turns doing one of 2 things. It's very easy. You either play a toy onto the board, or you draw 2 from your pile. Mm-hmm. Few little mechanism things that happen in this game. So each toy has an inherent ability that it can do. Mm-hmm. So when it gets placed, it's going to trigger its ability. Mm-hmm. So for example, the toy soldiers immediately allow you to play another toy out from your reserve. Yep. There's skeletons that allow you to draw 2 to your reserve. Mm-hmm. There's unicorns that allow you to draw one from your reserve. There's
Ones
robots that will destroy adjacent toys. There's another one that you can just paratroop out on.
And there's a really big dino.
Yeah, and then there's a big dino that's got the most power, because each toy also has a power value. So you can place, so for example, if Jamie has placed a 1 skeleton on the board, and you can only play adjacent to your headquarters or your toys, your color toys, unless a toy ability breaks that rule. You can place power toys on top of lower power toys of the opponent's color.
Yeah.
So if Jamie, for example, had a 1 skeleton on the board, and I could draw adjacency, so I'm legally allowed to play on that space, I could play any toy that's higher than the 1 skeleton. I could play 2, I could play 3, 4, etc.
Yeah.
There's also wild ducks. They can be placed on anything. They have no value, but they can be placed on anything, but anything can be placed on them.
They reset, basically.
And that's basically the game. You're just placing these toys out back and forth, trying to draw a line of adjacency so that you can then place a toy on the opponent's headquarters. There is an alternate win condition.
Yeah.
Each region will have stars, and if you completely surround each one of those regions, you'll collect the stars of that region. Each region has a different amount of stars based on how difficult it is to have that area surrounded by your groups of toys. If at any point you get to 7 of those stars, you will win immediately, even if you don't place on the headquarters. Alternatively, if you run out of toys, the game will end immediately. If one player runs out of toys and they cannot place, regardless of how many the other person has, the game will end immediately. If the headquarter win has not been reached, whoever has the most stars in that instance then automatically wins. There are a bunch of different maps, 8 different terrain maps.
Yeah.
BGA, if you want to try it out, it's on there. It's so fun
so far.
I think that might have changed.
Oh.
But I haven't looked. I thought it might have changed today. I'm having so much freaking fun playing this game. It's exactly what Jamie said. It's just like the production is amazing for what it is. It's a very cheap game. I think it's only like $30 American.
And there's a lot of variability.
There's a lot of variability. There's a lot of maps. The toys are all the same. That's one knock against it.
But there's potential for expansion.
The potential for expansions is huge.
Yeah.
And everything's super confined. I just want to show this because
it just fits perfectly in the
everything
box.
fits perfectly in the box so well. Like, your maps are underneath all of this, but there's your 2 toy chests and your little stands for your pieces. It's
perfect.
It's a Rockstar game, production and mechanism and play. I love it. If you're a 2-player primary household, I think this is one you should grab. And I don't normally say that.
And it's only like 15 minutes to play. And it's ages 8 and up. So if you are a fan of games like Captain Flip, if that's one that kind of took you by storm, this is the same like level in terms of learning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing I will mention, actually. Each map does have a unique terrain ability.
Yeah.
So it's not just cosmetic changes.
No.
So, for example, in the base level, there's towers you can place your units onto. And if you place a unit on the tower, you can actually take one of your units back to your reserve off of the map.
Correct.
So each map has their own little unique ways of changing the game and adding a little bit of asymmetry and variability. I can't say enough good things about it.
And I like it too. I think it's super fun. I've only played it once in person so far.
Yes.
But Jeff and I have been playing on BGA as well. It plays really well on BGA.
It's a great BGA game.
And another great thing about it is that it has like barely any setup. It's like pull out the board, grab your toys, that's it.
I think it's also wonderful that like you literally can go try this game right now and play it.
Yeah.
And then figure it. Like I feel like I've played a bunch with people on BGA, and most people go and end up grabbing a copy because it's relatively inexpensive.
We played it on the coffee table.
Yeah.
I sat on the floor and played it.
It's a great game.
Yep, loved it. Hey there, friends. I am interrupting today's video to bring to you the sponsor of today's video, which is going to be Rush of Ikorr, the newest TCG from Upper Deck. So without further ado, let's learn a little bit about Rush of Ikorr. Dive into the rich and diverse histories of ancient civilizations where their legends, myths, and warriors come to life in Rush of Ikorr, a new, exciting strategic trading card game from Upper Deck. Assume the role of a powerful avatar infusing and summoning legendary champions, building iconic locations, and casting mystical spells to claim your dominance. Supporting battles ranging from 1v1 up to 3v3, Rush of Ikorr redefines the trading card game experience by blending the allure of ancient mythologies with innovative gameplay. Unique infusion cards provide card customization and unprecedented strategic depth. This game isn't just about collecting cards, it's about crafting legends and epic mythological battles. Rush of Ikorr launches on June 25th, so follow the link in this video's description to learn more about the game, organized play, and the starter decks that are available from upperdeck.com. So like I said, if you are interested in Rush of Ikorr, please, my friends, click the link in the description below. And a big shout out to Upper Deck for sponsoring today's video. Now, the next game is another game that was sent to us forever ago, it feels, and that is going to be Imperium Horizons from Osprey Games. And we do also own Imperium Classics, but we haven't played that one. We've only played this one.
We need to get Legends.
Correct. We need to get all of them because, spoiler alert, we freaking loved it. Now, this game, you are playing as asymmetrical factions. Basically, what you're doing in this game is you are playing out cards, and like I said, everybody is going to have a deck that's set up kind of similarly, but different depending on which faction you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
On your turn, you get 3 actions, and those actions can come from like playing out your cards. You can also exhaust cards, so you're kind of building a little bit of an engine and tableau on the side as well. All of the things you're doing are to score points for the end of the game. Shocker.
It's like a little Civ builder.
It is. It's like a little Civ builder. Then, like, you've got your own personal cards, but throughout the game, there's market, and you can also go to the market basically to get more cards that are of all different kinds. So there's different symbols. So there might be like ones with leaves on them, or ones with like that are different civilization types.
Yeah, it basically represents like farming land, technologies. Typical Civ stuff.
Exactly. Oh, and so this is something that my character personally didn't have, but there is, you're going to start out on a side where you are barbarian. You're a barbarian. Mm-hmm. And then eventually you get more civilized and you have an empire. Mm-hmm. Now, my character that I played the Inuit people from Nunavut. These ones. And they just flipped every round. So you have certain cards that have those symbols. So you can only play your barbarian cards like when you're a barbarian. You can only play your empire cards when you have unlocked that. There's also going to be like key cards that come up that you're adding that are really powerful and they add points. A lot of the cards that you're getting are going to give you points, and they're going to be scoring kind of off of each other in different ways. It's a big engine builder. It's almost like a deck. It's a bit of a deck builder, and it's a civilization puzzle.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's deck building, but then there's also this element of like, you don't want to build your deck too much because there's instances where you can only draw from your, like, I can't remember what they're called, but like your production cards, which are your like, those are the end goal cards you want to add to your deck because they're worth the most points. They have the most powerful abilities. Yeah. But you cannot grab those cards at all until you've kind of flushed them out. Mm-hmm. So it's this interesting balance. Like I played as the Martians, and the Martians, they actually don't. They start as in a certain state, and you actually don't want to access the cards that normally everyone else would want to because that means like you've basically nuclear exploded your planet and all these bad things happen and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, yeah, it's this pseudo deck builder, card shedding, like Civ builder. It's so unique.
Yeah, and then there's also resources. So there's like bricks and something else and something else. Can't remember what they all are. The point is you need them in order to be able to like build out certain things. And so there's also a resource management element. There's like a lot
card synergy and
there's a lot. Well, that's really important too because like my deck as an example, like there were certain cards that were more like economic style cards. It just didn't work with my deck at all. And so like you have to also be mindful of the cards that are available, because there are going to be like certain types of cards that are available until those decks run out, and then it's going to start being like whatever comes up kind of comes up. Which is really interesting. So there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, and there's this like, again, there's all these different types of cards. Like some cards are just infinitely going to stay out in your tableau. Some cards are like one-time use cards, and like the tableau region is like going to synergize with some of your other cards that you have in your hand. It's just like it's kind of a solitary like card, asymmetrical card Civ builder.
Yeah.
Like there isn't, so I think Jamie's going to get there eventually, but like I actually think this is a solo game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
We played it at 3.
I probably wouldn't do that again.
And I wouldn't do that again.
I would do it at 2, but not 3.
Yeah, there is limited interaction. There are war cards that can come out and do stuff, but like it's limited interaction. I think it's best is likely a solo game.
Yeah. But yeah, so we had a really, really good time playing it. We played it 1.5 times. The first game we started and then we had to go to dinner.
Yep.
So we played with all of like the basic, like what they say to do is like
and then
starter
I immediately ramped up to the Martians.
We're like, nah, let's go up a step, shall we? And it's all mix and match with the other Imperiums, which is great. I do think that this would be an amazing solo game. There is an AI character that you have to manage, but it's basically just kind of like a formula, like step by step, and then you take your turn. But I definitely would not want to play this again at more than 2. There's a lot of thinking time.
It's just, I mean, it's very much a solitaire-esque experience, and when you add more players, it just lengthens the game time. It doesn't add necessarily anything to the gameplay, it just adds time.
Yeah. Now we want to get Legends. So.
Yeah, I think, I think Jamie should try this solo. She's the solo gamer here. And what's interesting is, like, all the factions play differently enough that I feel like once you get good at one and you go to another, it's not like...
It's a new puzzle.
Yeah, it's a new puzzle to figure out.
Yeah. I really liked it. So, now, one thing I will say is that the rule book's a little bit...
Agreed. This one's better than Classics or Legends, but it's still a lot to wrap your head around.
I just don't want that to discourage you. We didn't watch a video, but I'm sure that there are good videos, so maybe try and find how to play
Once you're playing...
once you get it, you're like, oh, this all makes sense.
But it does, like...
It's the terminology.
I do think it does require someone to teach you that knows how to play.
Yeah.
And
it's helpful.
That seems a bit ridiculous, but it helps a ton. Because I do think it's a game that needs to be visually played out. Yeah,
I think like it struggles with the same thing as Metro Netrunner.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's the terminology that it's like, why is this not just called this?
Yeah, instead of like draw a card, it's like draw from your
such and
such pool, and it's like, okay, draw a card.
Just draw a card. Anyways, the point is, we loved it, and I'm excited to try more factions and get the other one.
BGG solo vid?
Probably, actually. I think that'd be a good idea. So, that, my friends, we did all 5, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. That is everything that we have for this month's Snapshot. Those are 5 more games that we have been playing recently. We are about to go on a little friendcation with some board game bros. Okay, that gives you a hint of who we're going to be hanging out with. So we're
Nick and Mike. Charlie. Sam's coming over. Sarah.
Load up the board. Sarah. Keith.
Keith. My friend Aaron.
Yep. So the point is, we're having a board game vacation. We're going to be playing a lot of games because that's what we do. We're going to be doing some other stuff too. But I'm excited to share with you guys some of the games that we end up playing.
We're going to play so many games, I think.
We're there for a whole week. We got nothing else to do. Wake up, eat, play games, and Jeff's going to play retro video games. I'm sure of it. Ain't that the truth? Anyways, my friends, that's everything we have for you today. If you are interested in buying board games like any of the many that we mentioned today, you should first start by checking with your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is...
The Boardroom Game Cafe.
Like that is, if you like what you see.
Please subscribe.
Hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days.
Good. The heck?
I'm so distracted by all the Blue
birds
jays.
are going nuts for the peanuts.
Blue jays love peanuts.
They
Fun
really,
fact.
really do.
Yes. Drop torches.
Get this